I love learning about how we process life with all its ups and downs. And I was listening to Dr. Nicole LePera talking about Polyvagal Theory that was developed by Stephen Porges. Polyvagal Theory is about how trauma affects the body. And this is a bit about Polyvagal Theory, which also involves the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve runs from the brain through the face and the thorax to the abdomen. Polyvagal theory is about dysregulation of the nervous system. Our nervous system runs all of our body's physiological processes as well as the brain. When we're born, we can't regulate our nervous system. We need someone to care for our physical needs. We need someone to care for our body's energetic and emotional needs to help us regulate ourselves. When we get that regulation, we develop a sense of safety and of security with one or multiple caregivers. When we cry and are soothed, we develop an anticipation or a prediction that will continue to happen in the future. When we have a core sense of safety and security, we feel okay enough to open ourselves to relationships with others, which means we can communicate effectively and can reflect back and mirror each other. So what this looks like in childhood is having a caregiver show up for us in a meaningful and an appropriate way and reflect back to us who we are in this world. So when we are upset, our caregiver helps us understand what's going on for us. They can help us to make sense of the thoughts and the feelings that we are having, and they can help us regulate them. When we watch a mother and child bonding, they are in a joyous state, smiling at each other. And this is an example of mirroring. To be seen and known in a relationship is just so important. So once we feel safe and secure, we can start to have positive interactive experiences with other humans. That's the whole of being human. When we don't have that sense of security or the self-regulation, it's because we had a caregiver who was dysregulated themselves. For example, if a mother is dysregulated within her nervous system, her baby will struggle to regulate and would struggle to help that toddler understand itself and its emotions. So in adult relationships, this inability to mirror will influence all relationships. Being dysregulated as an adult, we might use our relationships to self-regulate, but because we are dysregulated, our relationships will be unsafe and we won't feel secure in life. More often than not, what we feel is threatened. So we might not bring our feelings to our relationships. And if we do, we won't have those moments of connection or of intimacy when we are being mirrored. So we lose the ability to regulate or to use relationships as a point of security to regulate. Another thing that is confusing and keeps us stuck in a cycle of threat when we experience dysregulation is when we misinterpret facial expressions. Neutral faces can be interpreted as being aggressive, and fearful faces can be interpreted as being angry. So now we are misinterpreting facial cues. Facial cues are how we know if someone is safe to be around. Another reason to feel unsafe in relationships, because everyone starts to feel like a threat. Romantically, in our friendships, at with our family at work, or even strangers in the street. So if we live in this cycle long enough, people become our threats. So our nervous systems are activated all day long, and we are living in survival mode all the time. We don't feel safe anywhere. We don't feel safe in ourselves, just because we never learned to regulate in childhood. So how can we learn to self-regulate? Self-regulation is our ability to direct our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. So we need to practice mindfulness by bringing awareness to our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, habits, and sensations in our bodies. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a way to respond before we flip our lids. So bring awareness to your senses by grounding yourself in them. Notice something that you see, something that you feel, something that you hear, something that you taste. You only experience your senses in the here and now. Paying attention to them can help pull you out of fixating on worrisome thoughts. Another way to self-regulate is to practice belly breathing. Our breath is an amazing self-regulator. Just start with one deep belly breath a day and build it up to a 5-minute practice. Just remember, it's belly breathing, not chest breathing. And this kind of breathing activates the rest and digest part of our nervous system. Another good idea is to do journaling when lots of feelings come up. Put pen to paper and just let the words come out. They don't have to make perfect sense. Just naming the emotions is a way of starting to let them go. This is a journey and it doesn't happen overnight. What also helps is singing, humming, oil pulling. You can look that up on the internet. Exercise, a healthy diet, enough sleep, meditation, and spending time in nature. So go out there and look after your vagus nerve.